What's going on, guys? Remember this thing? Project Montero. Yeah, it's been a while. If you remember the last time we were working on this thing, we were having a really tough time getting it to run right. Had a bunch of wiring issues, timing issues, fueling issues. And yeah, it's been many long months of trying to figure out what the problem with this thing is. And yeah, well, now it doesn't run at all. We couldn't start this thing if we tried. But all in the name of progress. Welcome back to the Curb Cut. All right, so for all the developments and setbacks and problems and news about this car that we've been experiencing off camera for the past few months, one of the biggest points of note is that I actually don't own this car anymore. A few months back, I sold it to my buddy Ben, who's going to be taking over the financial responsibilities of completing this thing. Myself still being lead mechanic on the project. That being said, Ben himself is not a mechanic, nor really a car guy. Loves the truck and wants to really just have a go-anywhere vehicle. So the first order of business in getting it closer to that goal, making this a go-anywhere truck, is in ripping out all of the shit that I've grown to hate about this thing. So the other day I had Ben come by to give me a hand with fully tearing apart the engine bay on the Montero. Basically what I want to do here is remove all the accessories, wiring harnesses, patchwork, crimp connectors, band-aids, new parts, used parts, and overall bad energy that's piled up under the hood of this truck. As some of you might remember, for months I resorted to scouring forums and Facebook groups to get a handle on how to fix my fuel and spark issues. So I bought a bunch of new parts that made almost no difference in how things ran, replaced the entire engine harness with another used one, replace the stock ECU with another used one, and tried endlessly to figure out what was causing both TBI injectors to fire simultaneously in spite of everything. In the end, the gremlins had multiplied to the point of no return, and the decision to employ our new plan of attack was made. Tear it all apart. Ultimately, I'd like to get this whole truck down to nothing more than a rolling chassis with a naked long block. Only then can we really sort this thing out the right way. All right, so for all the wiring coming out of this truck, and again, for such a small truck, there is so much wiring. The good news is, everything we're gonna need to get this thing running right now is all contained right here in this box. Here we have a simple digital system computer and harness, otherwise known as an SDS standalone. And the reason we chose to go with the SDS is because it claims to be the easiest digital standalone EFI system on the market today. It touts full sensor diagnostics available in real time, error codes and check engine lights communicate through the unit, and since we're approaching the fueling and ignition setup on this truck in a whole new way, the SDS will allow us to run a crank-triggered, fully programmable ignition and MPI. Even better, the SDS does not need a laptop or PC for programming, which is great for someone like me making his first venture into standalone tuning. So yeah, the stock TBI injection proved to be one of the most frustrating and unreliable aspects of this build. The decision to go multi-port injection has now been made, which means we will have a much more precise and tunable fuel curve, with each cylinder now getting its own injector, as God intended. To make this work, we ordered a custom manifold from MotoCam 360. Now we just have to get it to fit. This unit is very well built and is going to afford us a huge amount of performance and reliability, but clearance between the manifold and brake booster is so tight that the only way I could get it to slide in was to remove a bunch of studs off the back of the head. Honestly, at first, I was afraid it wasn't going to fit at all, because the Starion and Montero engine bays are different. But let this be proof to any of you going down this path yourselves, it can be done. And surely this won't be the last of us needing to get creative with fitment issues, but these puzzles are half the fun when you're building. Hell, I can't wait till we have to route a bunch of intercooler piping through here somewhere. But that's for another day. All right, I can see how some of you might think that this whole process of this assembly is some major step in the wrong direction, like a big step backwards. Personally, I do not see it that way. For everything that we've done and all that we've accomplished here, when I open the hood now, I can honestly say I'm really excited about finishing this thing.